The software program we use with the laser is called CorelDraw. It is a little green and white icon on the bottom toolbar. Click that to open. Once CorelDraw is open, it will bring a pop-up box that looks like this, and you can put in the size of your material. So we're going to use 12 by 12 for the project we're doing today. And we're going to do OK. And this brings up a square. Now anything inside of the square will actually go to the laser and either be engraved or cut. Anything outside of the square, say like extra notes you want to write down or extra pictures, will not be sent to the laser. You can import pictures by going to File, Import, and we are just going to select an image here. And it'll come up with the little toolbar there, and you can just click and drag, and there you have an image. Now this is a great image to show you as a demo. This will not work for the laser. We need something that is black and white. This will not work especially on tumblers. We need a contrasty photo that is black and white. So I'm going to delete that. So I'm going to go to File, Import. You can either pull something off of a USB drive if you've brought that along, or we can go to the desktop, laser machine file shortcut, and for this I'm going to go into classes and then fleece blankets because I have a bunch of image files, as you can see. PNG black and white files work the best, so I'm going to import this. So we can engrave this. We've engraved this on the fleece blanket. You can engrave it on wood, and acrylic, even on a tumbler. You can resize your image just by pulling in the corners, or you can go up to the size box and put in what you would like. And with the lock button on, it's going to shrink it proportionately. Here's the lock button. If you want to unlock it, you can shrink it to be exactly what you want. And then you can lock it again. Once you click off the box, it will show you the size of your material, which again, we are using 12 by 12. If I want to type some text, I go over to the text box, click anywhere, and start typing. In order to change that, if I want to change the font, I just double click till it's highlighted in blue, and then I can change the font, and I can change the size. And then if I go to the upper left-hand corner here, you see this arrow. That is called your pick tool. Once you click on your pick tool, you can move things around just by clicking on them. I'm going to go to File and Open Recent to open the last file I was using here, which is for the badging class. This shows an example of guidelines. So guidelines are these blue lines that we can drag down and from the top and put anywhere we'd like. We can click on it and delete it. We can drag from the side, click on it, or just delete it. I use these for badging classes so that I can make multiples of these keychains and know exactly where to put them, so they won't be right on top of each other. As I talked about before, you can leave notes for yourself, additional images, all outside of the gray box, just like I have here. Now anything that is black and white, like Bob and the MetaSpace logo, will engrave. Anything that is red and hairline will cut. It has to be very specific like that. So it has to be black for engraving and it has to be hairline in red in order for it to cut. Now, if I wanted to draw a new shape, I could go over here, draw my shape, and it comes out black, and then at 0.5. So what I want to do is go ahead and make that hairline, and then I'm going to go all the way over to the right palette where the colors are, and I'm going to right mouse click on red. So that's important. You're doing hairline and right mouse on red, and that will change that to be able to cut. Now that we have our item ready to engrave and cut, we are going to go ahead and go to print, and it will open up a dialog box. The printer should be Epilog Engraver WinX64. You're going to go into the little gear next to that box. This opens up the print settings for the laser machine. To know what to put in there, you are going to be looking at this handout that we have. It's right next to the computer, and it will show you settings for all different things. So different types of materials. We have a 40-watt machine, so you can see the column in yellow are the settings that we're going to use. So I know for wood, for clip art text engraving, it's going to be 600 DPI, and then 35 for speed and 100 for power. For cutting 1/8 of an inch, which is what we primarily use here, it's going to be 500 for frequency, so that's the pulses of the laser, and then it's going to be 30 for speed and 100 for power. So we're going to go ahead and put those in. So if we look at our settings, we have it defaults to 600 DPI, that's your resolution. The next thing that you're going to set is the job type. This job type is raster and vector. Raster is engraving, vector is cutting, and we're doing combined. You're going to put your piece size in as 12 by 12, and then you're going to put in your raster or engraving settings. That's 35, 100. You're going to engrave from bottom up with wood and acrylic. That just goes with the flow of the smoke. And then for vector, we know it's 30 for speed, 100 for power, and then for frequency, it's 500. But you can't type in this box for whatever reason, so you need to use a slider to get as close as you can, and then use the plus or minus to adjust. The next thing you do is do OK, apply, and print. And now this has been sent over to the laser machine, and you should see it as your job on the control panel. Please make sure that you read the laser machine badging manual that we've created. And the main thing that I want you to look at first is the acceptable and unacceptable materials. If you have a question on whether or not you can use the material, please contact us and we'll let you know.